Xbox is going through some major turmoil right now. Game Pass cancellations, rumors circulating about them leaving the physical market, and now, of course, they have had to come out and damage control. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we have heard about several stores removing their Xbox stock, and it's led us all to believe that they're getting out of the physical game market. And also, months ago, we found out that Xbox was toning back or scaling back the amount of physical games they were actually putting out. And when they were selling you a box, it just came with the digital code. I've talked about this in a couple of videos now, but we had found out that the release dates for Outer Worlds 2 and Ninja Gaiden 4 were revealed during the Xbox Game Showcase, and pre-orders had gone up for those wanting to snag their copies early. And unfortunately, it seemed as though large retailers such as Best Buy weren't actually taking pre-orders for standard physical copies. And of course, even if they were, it was not going to actually be a disc because both games were getting standard physical editions on PS5, suggesting that Xbox was just about done selling their games on physical discs, and the Xbox versions for Outer Worlds 2 and Ninja Gaiden 4 were literally just download codes in boxes, which is why this news that we had heard about them potentially not selling games and consoles in stores anymore was pretty believable. It said, according to Reddit users who claim to work at Target and Walmart, both stores had begun removing their Xbox stock en masse. On Wednesday, the Target I work for has removed all Xbox games, and they were pretty sure it was store-wide. Another said, my local Target is getting rid of their Xbox section. The electronics manager says they will no longer carry systems, games, or accessories. He also said all Targets in Kansas City's area are purging Xbox stock as well. Another said the Walmart store they work for is getting rid of Xbox games too. They were doing a store remodel, and the new layout for electronics will have no Xbox games, and Switch and PlayStation will be condensed, though now Xbox has had to come out and damage control over this. It says that from this post spawned a number of stories where other Redditors began sharing that they hadn't seen stock within their local Target or Walmart stores for months. Counter reports came in from various sources like Destin, who shared the following: I just called my local Walmart to ask if they were discontinuing or pulling Xbox stock. They said, at least to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything about clearing inventory or anything like that, or about them being discontinued. And now we've found out that Microsoft has given them a statement noting that Walmart and Target at large are still committed partners. They simply said Target and Walmart, among other retailers, remain committed partners for Xbox consoles, accessories, and games. And there are actually a lot of people that do not believe this, because why is it that there are so many reports circulating that Microsoft's offerings at these stores are being condensed? But of course, when you pair those reports with the news that they are only selling codes in boxes, and every company wants to get out of the physical market because it's much cheaper, right? They don't have to deal with production costs, shipping costs, storage costs. It really seems like this is at least their plan in the future. Now, if it's happening on a large scale, I don't know. It doesn't sound like that given what Microsoft is saying, but a lot of people genuinely do not believe them, and rightfully so. Here is just one of the many threads on the topic where people are saying they'll deny it until the very end. Then they'll try to confuse the Madden FIFA audience by calling PCs and PC handhelds Xboxes. It's not an Xbox if it doesn't actually run console Xbox games. Game streaming doesn't count. Costco remains a dedicated Xbox seller. They still sell TVs, right? TVs are Xboxes. Believe us, don't believe your lying eyes. You know what they say about rumors. There's always truth in them. Xbox staying put at Target and Walmart. Guess my conspiracy theory about a secret console vault was wrong. And so the blame game begins. Target and Walmart, amongst other retailers, remain committed partners for Xbox consoles, accessories, and games. Press X'd it out, and it's so sad that we've got into this point. I know that companies do really shady things. This is why I always say, do not trust them. They don't have your best interests in mind, but when they make such big promises, we expect them to be able to uphold those. And of course, they haven't. They don't care about our feedback. They don't care about what gamers want. And I do think that they are going to really start feeling the burn from that, especially with the Game Pass cancellations, the fact that they can't raise their prices to 80 for standard editions of games, or else they're going to face a behemoth amount of backlash. Plus, the $1,000 handheld that they've announced has not gone over super smoothly for them. Sure, they just aren't on shelves because everyone went to buy a shitty box. Yep, that's it. It's definitely not because the Xbox is a dead console. And this is so sad for me because I have a lot of love and nostalgia for Xbox. The 360 days were phenomenal. I've purchased every Xbox up until now. I'm not going to be buying the handheld, that's for sure. But when you are marketing everything you own as an Xbox, yeah, you can't expect people to go out of their way to buy a dedicated console. And I think that they want out of the console market. I've said this for years now. I do genuinely believe the next one will be the last because they've consistently lost money on them. But at the same time, they're facing major backlash over this, and rightfully so. Microsoft can F off, and over the past couple of years, they've lied to us a lot, right? They said after the Activision acquisition, oh, we're not going to go through layoffs, we're not going through any major game cancellations. Xbox and Activision are going to, stay the companies and the studios you expect us to be, and then that all was a complete and utter lie. And I understand, right, that companies need to make as much money as possible, they need to be profitable, and I don't blame them for going through some layoffs. Every company is doing that right now. But at the same time, they still had made large promises that they clearly didn't intend to keep. And that's why you cannot sit here and trust what they are saying because they've lied far too many times. And of course, they're always getting called out on this. I mean, they had previously said, of course, that they weren't going to raise prices. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate's price hike has been a point of major backlash over the past couple of days. They raised the prices to $30 a month. Microsoft added more day one games and threw in Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Plus Classics to help justify the cost. Nobody cares about that. They've even got the FTC going after them again, calling them out, saying that they're liars, they make promises that they never intended to keep, nobody should trust them. And I do ultimately agree. They tried to raise game prices to 80, starting with the Outer Worlds 2. They faced so much backlash and their pre-orders were so low that they had to backtrack on that. And I don't think that they're going to backtrack on Game Pass given they believe that people will still support them. And while a couple people might be angry now, they'll definitely come back to the service in the future. I don't think that that is the case. We know that they lost over $300 million on the last Call of Duty because of Game Pass, and I'm curious to see how much they lose on Black Ops 7. But either way, things are not looking good for them, and they are going through some major changes within the company, clearly, given all of the different announcements that they've made with pricing and also the accusations that they're facing right now about removing their stock from stores. But we do know that there are certain stores like Costco who are completely discontinuing carrying their products. So they didn't answer that. They didn't acknowledge that, which seems a little bit suspicious. So, of course, I'm sure that I'll be covering this again in the future, but right now, they are facing some absolutely major backlash over all of the decisions that they've been making, and really, it doesn't look good for them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.